Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, we are so blessed today, Phil, to have Brett and Kate Ryan with us from Focus on the Family. They've been away for a little while, but they are back in Australia. Guys, welcome back to Rise and Shine.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back.
It is lovely to be back, but it is a little bit of a culture shock coming from the northern hemisphere summer to the cold of Melbourne, and it's been a bit of a shock.
I bet it is. Well, we're glad you're back, and we are sure that you have a message on your heart today. What is mulling over inside of both of you?
Well, we've actually been very interested about the new TV show that's been airing the last few weeks on parental guidance, and the last few weeks they've been referring to technology and screen time. So many of your listeners may be watching this, but it's also very topical about the government's intervention or ideas to do age verification, and basically mums and dads need to put this on their radar, whether they think that their kids, my kids are okay. Our kids are digital natives. This is where they live and breathe, and we need to have a greater awareness of what is available to our kids, because our kids will discover things that we may not necessarily like and may not necessarily align with our value system.
It's a good point, because as you're thinking through, I've got kids, we both have children in that teenage age bracket, and we often say to them, hey, you can't unsee things, so let's be open and let's be having a conversation. What does it look like from Focus on the Family? You're obviously looking at lots of research and you're talking to lots of families. What are some of those tips for having those conversations with your teens? What should we be looking for and talking about?
Well, a lot of it has to do around, first of all, what are they looking at? How long they're on, and so what are they consuming in that time frame? So we tend to put all tech in a bad light, but it's not all bad. But it's what are they consuming? So it's talking about that and how that impacts them. And then just being able to sit down as a family. I mean, from the very early days, tech consumption should be out in public. It shouldn't be in bedrooms. And in fact, watching this show showed over and over again with these tech experiences with their children as they filmed them, that they were looking at them in a very private space, and where there was bullying and where there was gaming that actually was quite aggressive, and it was surprising. And even the tech-savvy parents were surprised at what was actually going on and how we need to be so engaged and just asking questions, open-ended questions, to show interest and be involved and intentional with our kids.
Yeah, that is very timely advice and wisdom, and it is such a minefield, isn't it, for our kids today, trying to dance between not letting them be completely sheltered from the world, having a device, but also managing it. I've found it really hard as a parent, to be honest with you, really hard.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I like the idea about, we talk about food, quality and quantity, the same thing with our technology. Quality and quantity, we need to take back control. But one of the key words or a phrase I use is early and often. We need to start talking about it much earlier, because our kids, I often hear parents say, look at my 2-year-old, they're so technologically advanced. Well, it's because monkey see, monkey do. They know how to, navigate a smartphone, but kids under the age of 2 shouldn't have any technology. Children under the age of 5 should be restricted, and over the age of 5, it should be done to about 2 hours a day. I mean, let's face it, many schools are going towards technology for their learning, but even that's being looked at the moment to say how kids are just on technology all the time. Why don't we go back to old school, which I'll be intrigued to see whether that takes place.
Brett, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think on the one hand, we don't want to be scaremongering and it's all terrible, it's all bad. There's some good things that can come from technology. If you're a parent listening today, what's one thing a parent could do or to start a conversation with their child to make some positive changes within their home?
Actually, I think one of the reality checks, and I love the fact that they did this, was let's look at the amount of time. So everybody kind of get out their devices and look at the amount of time and what they're actually looking at, because it was quite a reality check, even for the parents. They couldn't believe how many times they picked up their own phones or how many hours they'd actually scrolled through social media or And they were like, wow, and so to have that reality check is actually really good because I think it will shock them. Even the kids were shocked at how much they'd been on there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a good place to start. Why don't we do an audit?
Yeah.
Great.
An audit of how often, what we're looking at, and what we could do differently, what we could fill our time with as a family or other interests and I think it's really important that we look at our own because we're role modeling. We need to do that first before. And in fact, it's really good for us to sit with our kids and go, why don't we all do this together? And I know it's going to be a shock for myself as well.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
In fact, one of the couples or families is a traditional Christian family, and they share. And the mother actually realized that she spends about 25 hours a week just scrolling, and it was a bit of a shock to her to say that she sort of were priding themselves that they're not on technology very much until they actually had a look at the numbers. And so I would say exactly what Kate says, how to start the conversation. Let's have a look at it in the mirror. What are we doing? Yeah. And then we can have the conversation with our kids.
That's being courageous, isn't it, Andy?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a courageous conversation to do that.
Makes you very vulnerable.
Yes.
That your kids, teenagers appreciate when you don't think you know everything.
100%.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, as always, some really timely, relevant advice for this modern world, especially those of us with kids trying to navigate our way through this. Brett and Kate Ryan from Focus on the Family. You've got so many resources available on your website. Let our listeners know again how they can access that.
They just go to families.org.au, and we've got a lot of good podcasts on this area, like how to raise technology humans and digital natives. And so doing that well. And I mean, just the greatest verse to remember is whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is a good report, think and dwell upon those things. If we all do that through the filter of what we put in our eyes and our ears, we'll be in a much, much better place.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
So that's families.org.au. Heaps of podcasts, heaps of resources. Brett and Kate Ryan from Focus on the Family. Thank you so much for joining us on Rise and Shine.
You're welcome.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.